Hey, everybody, I'm Scott Weichel. You're listening to My Kind of Country. Thank you so much for joining us on a Monday night. It is always a pleasure to have this gentleman on my show. He's one of my favorites. We've got to see him in concert a bunch up here in Michigan, and he's just a legend in country music, great music. And he has got a brand new album that has just been released live from the Country Music Cruise. And we're going to play the whole album for you tonight. And he's here to tell us about it. It is always a pleasure to welcome the great Moe Bandy to My Kind of Country. Moe, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. And it's really good talking with you. If you can hear this album, you can hear I'm kind of floating a little bit. I don't know if it comes out on there or not. It's on a cruise.
Do you feel that when you're on stage?
You feel the boat moving. Yeah, sometimes it gets a moving, and the microphone kind of goes back and forth.
Does it really?
But generally, it's not that rough, but I've been in some where you can hardly do it.
Oh, man. So this was the Country Music Cruise that you did back in January, right?
Right, and I really enjoy that cruise. There's so many great people on there, entertainers and fans, and I'm going again this year, and it's just a fun deal.
Well, it sounds like you had a lot of great people there. I know you were talking to the crowd quite a bit, and it sounded like everybody was having a great old time, so that's fantastic. Yeah. So now, do you do more than one show when you're on the boat, or do you just do the one show?
Actually, I did 3 shows.
Oh, wow.
And we took the songs out of each show that we thought sounded the best. And so we had 3 shots at it, and so it worked out good.
Well, that's fantastic. Yeah, it's an enjoyable album, and I love that you talk to people and do some, tell some jokes in between and stuff like that, and get the crowd involved, and that's really neat.
My corny jokes are in there. It's just so corny, but I love telling jokes. I love people to laugh. It's good for people to laugh, especially on a cruise. That's what you're there for.
Oh,
and so I got a bunch of jokes, and I actually didn't know they were going to put the jokes on there, but they did. And so now, when I go on the next cruise, all the people have heard my jokes.
You got to come up with some new material.
I got to come up with a bunch more stuff. So
you got to keep that Gene Watson one, though. I love that you're telling about the guy that was going on about you.
I'm going to come up with some more Gene Watson stories. That's what I'll do.
I can't imagine there's a shortage of Gene Watson stories, that's for sure.
Right, I'm not. We go back and forth. We've been picking on each other for years, and really, just between you and I, we're very close friends. But we love to pick on each other, and so I'll have to write a few more on him.
I see. I'm sure you know Boo Miller, who plays Steel for Gene. He had a picture on Facebook not too long ago. He was sitting next to Gene on the bus, and he's got a Moe Bandy shirt on.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. Jeannie Seeley had one on here a while back and did that, so that's great.
That's great. I love it.
That's what they're supposed to do, Sam.
There you go. Well, folks, the new album is available at all the streaming platforms, moebandy.com. You can get more information there, and, of course, you can check out all of Moe's great tour dates. And a great sampling of songs. I mean, I'm sure it's hard to choose, what songs you're going to do, as you've had so many great hits, but you've really covered the cream of the crop on this collection.
Well, we wanted, I think, when people come to your shows, they want to hear your hits. And so that's what we did. We played all the hits and, make sure we play over the songs that they want. And the fans on that cruise, the whole cruise is sold out with fans. And so these people are really into your music, You're not playing for a crowd that some of them are saying, I wonder who that guy is, So it's really a fun bunch. And so I try to have as much jokes and songs and stuff as we can put in there.
Well, you sound great, and you must be doing well.
I'm doing well. I'm still touring a lot. I'm doing, in the next few weeks I got about 8 shows, and I'm doing a lot of touring, and I'm have the band and the bus and the whole deal.
Yeah, that's great, and it was nice to hear some of your duets that you did with Joe Stampley. You were talking about 45th anniversary for Good Old Boys and Hey Joe, and my gosh, it doesn't seem like that much time has gone by, but I guess when I think about it, it really has.
It sure don't. And I tell you, when I recorded Good Old Boys 45 years ago, Cheating Situation we recorded 45 years ago, 1979. I had a heck of a year.
Man, I guess so.
Big songs and stuff. And it's amazing. It just seems like you look up one day and it's here. You're older and the years have passed.
Yeah, I know it. Beautiful job on It's a Cheating Situation. Linda Davis helping you out on that. And I know Janie Fricke did the original with you, but Linda sure did a great job on that.
Oh, she did so great. And she's one of the greatest singers out there. I mean, Linda was just so great, and it's just an honor for her to sing with me.
It sounds like she had a good time. I think she's a nice lady for sure.
She sure is.
Yeah. Tell me about your band. Who are your pickers in the band? I know you had one of the guys in the band singing the duets with you with Joe Stampley. And tell me about your band.
Yeah. Well, I've got Buster Sharp plays bass and sings that part, and I've got Jay Brandon, who was with Mickey Gilley for 22 years. Was playing piano, and then I got a guy named Russ Hutchinson plays lead guitar. He's from Arkansas, and then I have Nick Ochoa plays drums. He's been with me 35 years.
Wow.
And then he's from Gatesville, Texas, and then John Clark plays steel and fiddle. He's been with me off and on for 36 years. So I got several of them in there that have been with me for a long time.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. Well, some fantastic songs. Of course, Hank Williams, You Wrote My Life, Rodeo Romeo, Barstool Mountain, Bandy the Rodeo Clown. Got to have that in there. And Here I Am Drunk Again, the good old audience participation song, right?
Yeah. I've never seen so many drunks. I mean, singers in the audience. That song, years ago, you could not walk in a bar without hearing that. Here I Am Drunk Again. And it was a huge jukebox song.
Oh, yeah.
And people still remember it.
And it's still out there, man. It's good songs never go away,
Well, I tell you, thank goodness for that, because that's what keeps us going, These old songs, they just keep living, and that's what we keep going by,
Hey, I wanted to ask you about Whitey Schaefer. You and I talked about this. I don't think we ever got it on an interview, but I wanted to ask you about this, have you tell me the story. You had mentioned to me that Whitey Schaefer liked the way you said woman, and he was trying to write all these woman songs. Can you tell me that story?
Yeah, well, for some reason, when I recorded Woman, it came out Wowman. And I can say it, but I have trouble singing it. So Whitey wrote, it was always so easy to find a happy Wowman. And several of those songs where I had the word in there. And he loved to hear me say it. And I was going to change it. I said, well, maybe that's something that, no, don't touch it. So I left it alone.
And that's a true story. You were talking about Lefty calling you in the middle of the night with Bandy the Rodeo Clown. He and Whitey wrote that song specifically with you in mind, right?
That's right. They sure did. I was looking for a rodeo song, and my brother, bull rider, and he's doing real good that year. And by golly, they went out and wrote one for me, and I was just so honored to get a song from Lefty Frizzell.
Did you ever have a chance to meet Lefty?
I met him a couple times briefly, talked to him on the phone several times, and the last thing he told me before he passed, he said, my boy, you're going to be a starra. A starra, yeah.
Oh, that's great. I never got a chance to meet Lefty. I know David very well, and all the Frizzells are just the nicest people, and what a talent.
They are. They sure are, yeah. And I've told them stories about that, what he said and everything over and over.
Tell me about the medley of songs that you do that are the hits that you missed.
Well, I do a medley of songs that I turned down. That when I went to Nashville, I'm from San Antonio, Texas area, and when I went to Nashville, they said, well, you got to do Texas songs because you're from Texas. And I said, well, I want to do Texas songs, but I want to do songs from everywhere. So they started just dumping me, not dumping me, but giving me these great Texas songs over and over, and I just got swamped. And so I had to pass on some of them. And there's one that a guy named Dan Mitchell was in the office there with us, and he said, the way you've been playing, I said, I'm playing in Texas. And he said, if you play in Texas, you got to have a fiddle in the band, don't you? And I said, yeah. And so he went home and wrote it. And I had all the songs picked for that session, and so I passed on it. Boy, then that went on to be a big one. And then the other songs, is What Would Ever Cross Your Mind, and All Maxes Live in Texas. Those were all songs that Whitey Schaefer sang. You know, those are his songs. He sang them in several of them. All Maxes Live in Texas. He sang it like parties. We sang it as a kind of a funny song. There's just songs that I passed up. And George Strait come along 10 years later and cut those songs. And, of course, had big monster hits.
Yeah, I'm sure he was thankful you passed on him.
He actually thanked me for it. And Randy Owens thanked me. So I'm so glad you didn't cut that.
Yeah, yeah, that was a big hit for Alabama, that's for sure. Well, you know, it's interesting to know that, you know, that you imagine what songs would have been, you know, and they would have been big hits for you too. I mean, good songs are good songs, you know.
They're right, and you know, everybody does that though. It's not just me, but everybody passes on songs. You just you sit down with a bunch of entertainers, and you'll find out, oh, I passed on this one and that one, but you just can't cut them all.
One of the songs you didn't do on this project, but I've heard you do it in concert before. It's a fan favorite, and I get a lot of requests for it. I just had one, in fact, last week on my show, Picture in a Frame. Are you aware of how big a song that really is for your fans?
Yeah, you know, I recorded that song, and it was an album cut. And they started playing it in Europe. And it went to number one all over Europe and everywhere. And but it never caught on here in the United States. But Canada played it a lot, and so now we're starting to get a lot of airplay on that. I went to Ireland, and I had to do it twice a show, 2 times in a show, and the people and a lot of the Irish singers have cut it, and and we went to Barbados down the islands. And they said I couldn't come through customs unless I sang it to them. So I did, you know.
Oh, that's great.
It's a simple country song, but it says so much, you know. And I do it on all my shows now.
And I know you have it available on CD. You gave me one, actually, the last time we saw you. So moebandy.com, you can go there and get that song if you're having a difficulty finding it anywhere. It's available on Moe's website along with his other great albums for sure.
But yeah, that's been a big one over there for sure.
Absolutely, it has. Moe, are you planning to do any new music here?
I have a new album in the can that I cut, and I went back and I recorded all these hits, the past hits, some that I turned down, and my favorite hits of all. It's one of my favorite albums. We're going to put it out next.
Oh, fantastic. So you recorded some of the songs you were talking about on the show that you passed on.
Right. I recorded some of those, and I went back, and I got a lot of the old Texas 4/4 shuffle songs, Crazy Arms, and Keys in the Mailbox, and all those. We did a bunch of those, too.
Oh, fantastic.
So I'm excited about that album coming out after this one.
I am, too. Be sure to let me know, and we'll have you back on if you would be so kind. We'll do a feature on that, too. I would love that.
Yeah, okay, I sure will, for sure.
Man, that'll be great. Well, we're going to play this album in its entirety tonight. I really want folks to listen to it. And
That's good. Well, I hope you feel like you're sailing out in the ocean and just everything's going great.
Yeah, well, take some Dramamine, and we'll sit back and play with it.
Tell them to take some Dramamine before they listen to it.
Yeah. You mentioned, Moe, you're going to be on the cruise again next year?
Yes,
Do you have information on that yet?
Well, it's I don't have the information right now. It's the Time Life Cruise, and you can. It's in February, I believe. And I got 3 cruises this year, by the way. I've got my own cruise, Moe Bandy cruise, and that one, and another one. But the Time Life Cruise, if you're thinking about going, it stays booked all the time. So you better get a deal pretty quick.
We'll keep an eye on your website and make sure to get that information out to our listeners for sure.
Good deal.
All right.
And by the way, I have an app. Not many people have an app now. I've got my own app, the Moe Bandy app, and it's free. So you might check that out.
Fantastic. That's on your website, the information for that, I assume?
Yes.
All right.
Just look up the Moe Bandy app, and it's on if you have an iPhone, smartphone, and it'll come up.
Check that out. MoeBandy.com is the website. And a brand new live album is available on all the streaming platforms. Are you doing physical CDs for this album too, Mo?
We are doing them on Time Life, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, we'll look for that. Make sure and share that. And you want to get a copy of this for sure, folks. And this is a complete live Moe Bandy concert. It was recorded in January of this year on the Live from the Country Music Cruise. And we're going to play it for you, and I hope you'll sit back and enjoy it. Mo, as always, it is a pleasure to have you on My Kind of Country. I appreciate your friendship and your support of my station, and it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Always a pleasure talking with you, and we always enjoy it. And I'll be back with you on that new album.
Hey, let me know for sure. And we're hoping we get you back up in Michigan. We'd love to see you again, too.
I know. I need to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, that is Moe Bandy. Here is Moe Bandy live from the Country Music Cruise in its entirety as we continue with My Kind of Country. Mo, thanks again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.